Hey everybody, welcome back to Highway Blossoms. Last time we inferred that we think the next piece of treasure is at the Double Arches at Arches National Park, so we are headed in that direction and we'll see if we are right or not. I'm guessing that Double Arches would be the obvious spot to look, so if the treasure is buried there, or if it's not, I bet Amber and Marina are probably going to run into a lot of people, and possibly our favorite rival treasure hunters, Marina and company, as I've gotten used to calling them. But we'll see. You know, maybe there'll be a twist, maybe there'll be a turn, maybe it's too obvious of a spot so no one will be there, and maybe the treasure is not there. But I don't know, Double Arches is as good as any to look. Anyways, as Marina would say, full steam ahead. I throw the RV back into drive and pull out onto the road again. There are signs everywhere for Double Arch, so we don't need the map that we got at the gate. We pass signs for other landmarks too, some with pretty weird names. There's the Parade of Elephants, for one thing, which is the same direction as Ham Rock. There's even a phallic-sounding rock simply called the Organ. Yeah, I don't know what it was about naming weird rock formations, but at Grand Canyon, there's even a rock formation that's called, like, the Rubber Duck or the Duck or something. It does look like a duck. It's crazy, but the naming of rock formations is fascinating if you look it up and you go to, like, the history of these people, of, like, just white people coming in and being like, oh, I'm going to name that the Organ, and it's going to look strangely phallic. All of those are down exits we don't take. Instead, we soon end up in the back of yet another traffic jam. Marina stares out the window as we creep along. Where we are right now is nearly indistinguishable from the highways we've spent so much time on. There are a few actual arches around, but none distinct enough to get any real attention. Inch by inch, we advance down the road until we finally come to a parking lot for Double Arch. Only problem is, it's totally full. Not just busy, but packed. Every parking spot is taken, with a few cars jammed into empty spaces that's clearly not meant for that. Like lice, people swarm up and down the arch itself, visible even from the road. At least this time, it isn't off limits. Oh, that still, like, makes me a little... Oh, that makes me, like, throw up a little in my mouth. Arches are, like... I'm gonna go on the rant again. Arches are very significant for a lot of Native American cultures, and I can't imagine what it must feel like to, like, watch a bunch of people just fucking trampling all around your sacred landscapes disrespectfully, such as that. It just, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. Looks like everyone else had the same idea. Don't sound so glum. We can still go take a look. If we can ever find somewhere to park. Yeah, that's a pretty big if. The entire caravan passes by the parking lot. There's at least a dozen cars behind me, too. Maybe a half mile up the road, we come across another lot. Up for a bit of walking? Yeah. I quickly take one of the remaining spaces. There are a few openings here. Looks like most people weren't as willing to walk as Marina is. Some of the cars behind us pull in too. We opt to leave the metal detector and other equipment in the RV for now. If we see anything that looks promising, we can come back and grab it. The walk back up to Double Arch doesn't take long, and it's nice to be outdoors again. We have to stick to the very edge of the road to avoid the stream of cars flowing towards us. Seems there was more than a dozen behind us after all. There's a short hike from the Double Arch parking lot to the arch itself. It's an easy one, and we don't even break a sweat. Up close, it's obvious that there aren't many people here just to see the sights. Almost everyone is carrying a shovel or other tool. There's a pair of park rangers watching, but they don't seem to be intervening at all. They just slouch against a wooden fence, looking defeated. I don't buy that. Like, first of all, you would have cops out here because it's illegal to dig on public lands. If you see people walking around with around with shovels, they'd be arrested and fined or possibly put in jail. Like, it is against the law. Like, there are park rangers who are just not intervening. No, if it's too much, you call the cops. This is breaking laws. God. Can you imagine how big of celebrities we'd be if anyone here knew we found the Shiprock treasure? And that's the thing, the moment you find the treasure and it's like, so you dug it up, well, guess what? You're going to use that money to pay the fine that you now owe the state or you now owe the country because you just dug up public land. I whisper as quietly as I can to Marina. Right? I was thinking about that earlier. I kind of wanted to show off, but that's probably not a good idea. No, because you hear about those people who win the lottery, and then so many creeps come out of the woodworks because they want the money. Just money does crazy stuff. Greed does crazy stuff to people. Like, anyone would believe us anyway, but you don't want to have your face all over the New York Times as one of the girls who found the Oh, that was a question. But you don't want to have your face all over the New York Times as one of the girls who found the treasure? Being in the local newspaper is on my bucket list. Dream big, Marina. And my friends from school would totally have a heart attack when they found out. But don't they always say to keep it a secret if you win the lottery? Yeah, see? Yeah, otherwise people will never leave you alone. You'll get all sorts of messages from people you used to know or long-lost relatives. I have enough not-lost relatives to deal with. Plus, I don't want to get kidnapped and held for ransom or something like that. What about you? No way. I'm just gonna quietly retreat into one of the 3 mansions when all this is over. Oh, you're only gonna buy 3? Yeah, gotta save the rest for my 14 new motorhomes after all. That's it, Amber. Dream big, girl. That's what I do. Probably. She giggles. Do I get to drive one of them? Why not? But you could buy your own, you know. No way, I'll just come bother you if I need one. We've gotten as closest to the arches as we can. The mob of sweaty people is too thick for us to push our way through. There are dozens of people sweeping over the dusty ground with metal detectors. Hanging back around the edges, Marina's smiles fades pretty... I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Marina's smile fades pretty quickly. Yeah, this is a bit of a mess. People jostle and push each other out of the way. It's hard to believe anyone is actually prospecting so much as they are just trying not to lose their spot. Maybe we should come back later? I don't know if it'll be any better later, but maybe. I guess, though, if the treasure is here, I feel like someone would have found it by now. Just like back at Canyon de Chelly. You know, this must have been going on for a few days now. Yeah. All the enthusiasm she had just a minute ago when we were joking around has evaporated in the desert sun. A rock skips past my foot as she kicks the dirt. I poke her, and she yelps in surprise. Hey now, I'm not saying we give up. I'm just saying we regroup and strategize. We can go see the rest of the park in the meantime. Didn't you say you've wanted to see this place for a while? Yeah, I guess. It's obvious that she's still bummed, but there's nothing I can do about that. Once we're back in the motorhome, we leave the busy main road ASAP and spend a while seeing the sights from our air-conditioned comfort. Marina's mood improves steadily throughout the day, counteracted only by our growing hunger. As we pull back into Moab, we're both ravenous. I hear there's a great brewery in Moab, but I haven't been there yet. But I hear it's great, and they have good food. That would be my suggestion. Want to just heat up our leftovers? Guessing that's a no. I'm not ready for pancakes again yet. I need a day, or maybe a week. Let me know if you see somewhere you want me to stop. Now that it's approaching evening, there aren't any more massive traffic jams going through Moab. We can cruise through through at a steady pace, just like when we first got into Arches, until I slam on the brakes. You're kidding me. Marina had been slouching, but bolts upright at the sudden stop. What happened? Just a few feet ahead, in the parking lot of the diner we ate this morning, is Mariah's motorhome. Look at that! Look at that! It's them! I point, and Marina leans forward. When she recognizes their RV, she grins. Should we go see them? What? No way! That's extra reason to avoid that place. Oh, but Amber, maybe we could see about teaming up for the treasure here or something. That'd never happen. Mariah'd rather lose every time than have our help. Besides, it's not like... Please? It's that puppy dog look. Already giving up in my head, I give Marina one last desperate look. Seriously? Yeah, even if we don't team up, it'd be nice to see them again. Not sure if nice is the word I'd use. Despite my muttering, I flick on my blinker and change lanes, pulling into the parking lot yet again. To be fair, Amber, you did give them the hint that the next treasure was at Arches, so you shouldn't be that surprised to see them. Or disgusted, for that matter, because I feel like you're warming up to them just a little bit. I mean, maybe not Mariah, but Joe's cool, and Tess is just a kid. She's innocent and all this. But that's something I hope we see. I hope we get more depth with Mariah, because I want to like her, but I can't at this point. I feel like Amber. She's just annoying and rude, and an awful influence on her sister at this point. Anyways, we'll find out. Like this morning, it seems pretty busy. I have to park next to Mariah's RV because it's the only open spot large enough. Marina skips out and towards the entrance while I trudge behind her. It doesn't take long to find the trio. Even amongst all the eccentric people that the hunt has drawn, their questionable fashion sense stands out. They have a large table near the back, bigger than the one Marina and I ate at this morning. Joseph and Tess share a bench while Mariah is spread across the opposite side. It's probably supposed to look sultry, but it comes across more like the bench is devouring her. That's quite an image. When she sees them, Marina scurries to the back, hand raised in greeting. I bring up the rear, still slow. Hey guys! Tess and Joseph both wave, the latter smiling when he sees us. Mariah looks surprised for a second, but then scowls and turns towards the wall. The feeling is mutual. Hey, imagine running into you two here. Just get into town? Nope, we've been here all day. We actually ate breakfast at this place this morning. Yeah, you're always a couple steps behind us, I guess. God. Amber, you better watch it. I'd be so afraid of Mariah just like strangling me. With that sarcasm, or with that sarcasm, that wasn't sarcasm, with your jabs. Mariah's glare is stonier than Double Arch itself, but of course she keeps looking at the wall instead of us. Joseph laughs though. Here, let's break bread. He and Tess scoot down the booth, making some room, which Marina promptly fills. I'm left next to the smoldering fury that is Mariah. She moves her leg, just a little, but enough for me to sit down. Thanks. Sorry to barge in on you guys like this. It's no problem. More the merrier. I hope you don't expect us to cover your bill. Groaning, Joe pats his hands over Tess's ears. Could you at least try not to be a pain in the ass between the hours of 5 p.m. and 6 in the morning? It would make my life a lot easier. He uncovers Tess's ears and gives us a blank look. She's right, though. There's no way we could afford that. We had to dine and dash for breakfast. So what about you? How long have you been here? We got in around lunchtime. Spent forever and a half stuck in traffic, though. He sounds worn out. I wonder if Mariah ever lets him drive, or makes him. Us too. We were gonna look around Double Arch, but it was too busy. Yeah, we took one look at it and just kept driving. Didn't even want to try. Sis said that anyone who bothered to get out was a You weren't supposed to hear that. I told you, this girl hears everything. Anyway, we were thinking about heading back this evening, see if maybe it cleared out some. We were gonna do that too. I was telling Amber that we should see if maybe you guys wanted to team up and we could look together. Hell no. The two of us look at each other. Seems all that we ever agree on is not sticking together. No offense to you, Joe. Just didn't wanna, I trail off trying to think of an excuse that didn't want to deal with Mariah, which is the truth. But Joseph just laughs and waves it off. Nah, I get what you mean. Don't think Mariah'd be too fond of splitting the goods either. Marina frowns, but perks back up after just a second. Soon, a waitress comes to take our order. Marina and I are careful to order meals on the smaller side, just sandwiches with fries. On the other hand, Mariah's order comes with a bunch of requirements as to what can and can't be on it. By the time she's made so many substitutions and extras, it hardly resembles the item described in the menu. So, I can tell you ladies that it's not at the Parade of Elephants, and Delicate Arch was a no-go too. Think we might try Skyline next. Good luck, I guess. Wonder how many of those miners would have known about. The miner would have known about, though. Pretty sure this park wasn't founded till after the gold rush. But if the miner had a Native American friend, who I think is Navajo, he probably knows some of the spots that were more sacred to the Native Americans of the area, and that would be my next guess of where to look. I mean, Double Arch is pretty significant. It's a sacred place, and so I bet you I would check just the other sacred places, because that would make sense. The park wasn't founded, and why would you hide your treasure in a park anyways? Joseph shrugs. Amber knows a lot about these places. She's like an encyclopedia. I can feel my face flush, like always when she praises me. Not really. I just know bits and pieces. Still, something to be proud of. Aren't too many girls your age who care about anything that happened more than 5 years ago. It's really nothing special. I just spent a lot of time on the road when I was younger. That's so. I appreciate his leaving it as an open-ended question rather than prying. Marina looks at me, eyes wide, probably to see if I'm about to cry or something. I try to be nonchalant. Yeah, until I was in middle school. My grandpa used to drive me all over the country. Sounds like a fun time. It was. Guess there's no point in hiding it. Plus, Joseph has this kind of disarming air to him. Like he exudes calmness. Passed away a little while ago. Still a little. I tap my throat, hoping to get my point across. It does. Joseph nods. I'm sorry for your loss. Thanks. Marina's eyes flick between me and Joseph. She must be pretty worried, so I force a smile, even though I can feel the growing glumness that shows up anytime I talk about Gramps. Meeting this dork has helped a lot, though. I jerk my chin towards Marina, who looks shocked, as if I could have been talking about anyone else. Spent a while moping before that. Family is good. I blink. It's so easy to forget she's there. Yeah, definitely. I hadn't really thought of it before, but Tess seems to be in a similar situation I was, growing up on the go and all. I'm curious how it happened, but I won't ask. Not my place. So what are you going to do? Huh? God, Mariah, ruining the mood. That was like a heartfelt moment. You ruined it. When all this is over, she gestures around. Dinner? No, dumbass, I meant the treasure hunt. Forget it. I don't actually care. Dunno yet. Mara and I have been talking about that. I've kind of been talking about that. She's gonna buy 3 mansions. Yeah, that. I'll have plenty of time to figure stuff out in my mansions. Three of us chuckle, but then the conversation trails off. Tess and Marina are working on coloring Tess's menu. From what I can see, it has different characters than the one this morning. They look like they make a good team. Each of them work on separate pictures, but switch from time to time. So Marina will color the hair of one character, then Tess colors the clothes. Despite not talking at all, they don't even get in each other's ways. Joseph also observes from above, smiling slightly. He's usually the one to play with Tess, so it must be nice for her to have some company. On the other hand, like a jug of milk, Mariah's mood seems to be getting more and more sour. I don't even know what she's mad about this time. Maybe something happened before we showed up, or maybe it's because we showed up. Either way, she ought to have memorized every single detail of the wall she's been staring at this entire time. She doesn't look up until our food arrives a little bit later. It's a good thing we have a large table because there's still hardly any room once all the plates are set down. My sandwich is so big it takes 2 hands to hold, and I have enough fries to sustain Ireland for the winter. When Marina picks up her sandwich, all the ingredients pour out the back. She quickly gives up trying to reconstruct it and just uses a knife and fork instead. Watching the other 3 eat is amusing too. Joseph chews with slow, measured bites, whereas Mariah attacks her meal like it owes her money. Across from her, Tess is cutting up chicken tenders with surgical precision. Marina catches me staring and smiles at me covertly. Seems she noticed too. Mariah is the first to finish eating. I'm just a couple bites behind. That's embarrassing. She wipes her face with a napkin, then finally looks at me. Where are you two staying? It could be an innocent question, or it could be a trap. Around, we'll find a parking lot somewhere. You thieves are gonna have a late start then. I guess. Don't tell me you planned ahead and got a campsite. Don't be stupid, of course not. Yeah, campsites cost money and permits. Clearly can't afford that if you dined and dashed this morning. Wait, that's not what I meant. I scoff as she backtracks to keep her from insulting herself. What I mean is there's no way they're going to bother checking every single permit. There's too much going on right now. Just pick a nice spot out of the way, don't make trouble, and it'll be fine. Joe flatly stares at Mariah. Easier said than done. Good luck with that. I don't want to take the risk. On foot, if you're trespassing and get caught, most of the time you'll just get thrown out. But I don't want our license plate getting written down or something if we were to do what she suggests. Mariah shrugs. Suit yourself. Don't say I didn't even try to help you. Didn't ever. You ever camp here before, Amber? Sounded like you know the place. Long time ago. I don't remember a whole lot. Just good at remembering names, I guess. Useful skill to have. Yeah, used to be. Before we'd go anywhere, Gramps and I would research the place we were going. History and stuff like that. You sure learned a lot of useful stuff from him, huh? Yep, always wanted to make him proud. He used to say I was a real chip off the... My words catch in my throat. Not because I'm emotional, but because I just realized something. Remembered it, rather. Mariah and Joe know it too. Mine and Mariah's eyes lock, and she bolts up at my words. The other two look confused. We're leaving. Oh no, what's that? What the hell is going on? I'm so... And what happened? Did, Joe pick Tess up and, run out the door? Or did, she, crawl up his back or something? It was interesting animation. But, holy shit, what the hell? And is this, the midpoint? Midpoints are very significant in stories, and I've been waiting to reach the midpoint, but I'm not sure if I'd recognize the midpoint in a story like this, and I'm not sure if this is it or not. And why did I just ramble about that? Anyways, what happened? I want to know. I think this seems like a good place to stop, so we will find out next time. Anyways, thanks for watching and listening, and take care, y'all.